Men's 3000 final gets underway. Andy Butchart and Jack Rowe going for Great Britain against Ingebrigtsen, and then a whole bunch of athletes who will be hoping this race goes in their favour. Some want it slow, some want it fast. One thing's for sure, they will all race to the tune of Jakob Ingebrigtsen at some point in this race, but will he be interested? He's got the front, but that just might be a safety issue given everything that's happened to him so far.
I mean, he did a gun to tape in the 1500 pretty much, other than the first lap, so maybe he's looking to do that again and just control it from the front. If he keeps it slow, I would expect some of the other guys to come past and not let him have it his own way.
Jack Rowe, let's talk about him first. Jack doing very well. He said he's in the shape of his life to come here. He's spent time at St. Mary's a few years back, but University of San Francisco, University of Washington as well. He's moved around a bit and having a great 12 months or so, and beat Butchart in the trial as well. Andy Butchart now trained, don't use that word anymore, coached by Barry Fudge, the former head of endurance, who knows Butch well. And so they're the two British men coming at this from slightly different perspectives, I guess.
Yeah, I think Jack Rowe really did look really good in his heat yesterday. Didn't look intimidated by his first major championship. And I think Tim Eglin's done a great job of settling him back into the UK. And he's going to be really excited to be racing Butchart again. I think he would have taken a lot of confidence in beating him at the British trials. I'm sure Andy was training hard, and it was just part of his preparation. And it's nice to see Seán Tobin up there as well, better known for pacemaking, did really great pacemaking jobs last year, but he's a really phenomenal athlete in his own right anyway, going for Ireland today.
Yeah, and I was talking about Butchart having run 2 of his 4 fastest ever 3000 indoors. Well, one of them was in the heats, and I just wonder whether that hard heat that some of the guys were in will still be in their legs a little bit. It has to be. Pretty pedestrian first 1000 metres in 2:44. If you need a bit of help with the maths, that's about 8:15. I was saying what we'd think would be a good time in under 8 minutes is average, but certainly it will pick up. So it's now reduced almost to, it will be a 1500 metre race. If it were about times, if you think about it, I don't know if you can remember the race last year, Hannah, when Ingebrigtsen ran that race, brilliant race in Rome, 7:27. He was beaten by Jakob Ingebrigtsen on that, but I mean but what a run that was. And then it's almost 10 seconds to Mechaal and Butchart in the sort of mid 7:30s in terms of personal bests at this distance. But he has even better credentials at 1500, so it doesn't really matter to him.
No, and you got Katir with the fastest time in the field, a real breakthrough at the Karlsruhe earlier in the year. He's got to put a strong move in at some point. He hasn't got the 1500 metre credentials of these guys. He's got to get it moving at some point. He's just relaxing at the back there with Butchart.
Yeah, hasn't really picked up that much, just starting to move a little bit. And you were talking about Katir. I bet he thinks I ran 3:36 in Lievan, but that was in a hard 1500 metre race. That's not a, sit and kick it. That's a good time indoors at 1500 metres, but kicking off a slower pace is something a little bit different. So Mechaal now, who can kick, he's near the front. Ingebrigtsen is where I guess he would not want to be, with a bunch of runners around him, and he's on the curb.
No, I think that's a dangerous place to be for Ingebrigtsen. Yeah, irrespective of what happened to him in the 1500, just with this race is going to kick off at some point, and he's pinned there on the inside. And I wonder if Gressier have a go. He's a very confident racer. I don't think he'd want to go through a race without kind of being flamboyant at the front.
I'm surprised that Butch hasn't got this going either, Andy Butchart, because there's less than 1,000 metres to go, and he's just dived in behind Jack Rowe. He's not in a position at all to really strike here. Katir moving up on the outside, and Ingebrigtsen gets it moving as we move into the last 800 metres or so. Mechaal on the outside, and then Katir trying to get there, and the change of pace is not helping Andy Butchart. Jack Rowe trying to stay with this. Jimmy Gressier at the back of the group, and Kimeli in there also.
And I can't see Ingebrigtsen letting anyone past him now. He was so strong in that 1500 leading from the front, and I'm sure that's what he's going to try and do with this last 800, fight off the attack of these guys.
Still nothing really going on here, except that Ingebrigtsen is just leading it, and the two British men trying to get back onto this group, but too many men looking relaxed ahead of them. Ingebrigtsen the best, Mechaal, Hay, Katir on the outside, Gressier looking dangerous as well, Kimeli and Nordås getting back involved. We saw how fast he finished in the heats earlier as well, or earlier in the week. Ingebrigtsen, as Hannah said though, looks like he's just gradually winding this up, almost imperceptibly.
He's really sapping the energy out of these guys, and they're having to respond to his pace. It could look one pace to someone watching us on the TV, but he won't. He'll be surging and hurting those guys. You see Katir, that's the first time he's really asserted himself in this race.
Andy Butchart's got himself at least in with a chance. A little grab of the shirt. Katir goes past his teammate Mechaal, and Andy Butchart just about hanging on there. They've got 300 metres left to run, but there's a gap appearing to the two Frenchmen and Nordås and Butchart and Rowe. At the front, two Spaniards and a Belgian trying to hang on to Ingebrigtsen, who looks relaxed. Katir working hard. There's a gap for these four and moving away. Katir, Kimeli, Mechaal trying to get back to a medal position. No doubt, I don't think, about the goal, because Ingebrigtsen doesn't need to really kick hard. He just keeps his foot going, and there he goes. Just a little change of pace just when he needs it most, right at the end, takes him away. He's going to take his second gold medal. He's going to defend his title. Ingebrigtsen is the champion. Then Kimeli, then Mechaal, and the others come streaming in behind. 7:48 in the end. It really did pick up. 2:21 the last kilometre. That's not bad at all. And you know, you never look like you hit top gear until about 40 metres to go, and that's what he can do. He just looks as though he's gliding along, and as you said, Hannah, it was just winding up the pressure, winding up the pace. One by one they fell away, and no doubt, well, there was never any doubt really was about who was going to win. It was all about how he was going to do it, and he just decided, we'll just run hard the last, what, 1,200 metres or so, and the others couldn't keep up.
No, they couldn't. He just put the pressure on there. It started running 28-second laps, and none of them could live with him. And you're right, I think he had another gear left as well. I think he just stamped his authority on that. It was a good finish off Mechaal as well to get the silver medal, and Kimeli backing for the medals too. I was surprised to see Katir not be able to live with that after his indoor season. But hats off to Jakob Ingebrigtsen. He came here, said it was not a bit of fun. He said, yeah, this is just part of his preparation, but to come here and get 2 gold medals as we look towards Tokyo, it's really impressive off Jakob Ingebrigtsen.